This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, I'm going to call this meeting to order. Today is Monday, July 8th, 2020. It is 6:03 p.m. This is the meeting of the Hanson Recreation Commission. We are meeting virtually in accordance with the governor's orders for virtual meetings and adhering to open meeting laws for virtual meetings. Those in attendance tonight are Diane Cohen, Melissa Scott. Okay, John Zucco here. Vice Chair John Zucco is here. Secretary Melissa Scartesi, can you please say here?
Here.
Here. And Brian Smith.
Brian here.
Thank you. Brian Frizzetti.
Here.
And Joan Frizzetti.
Here.
Bill Boyle, our rec director.
I am here, and I just point of order because I realized it's Wednesday. The agenda does say Monday. You have the correct date.
Oh, I know, Wednesday, and you're right. I read it off the agenda, and today is Wednesday. So I apologize.
In quarantine times, all days blend together.
Yep, today is Wednesday, July 8th. And Juby Hartweg, please stay here. You have to unmute, Juby.
Sorry, Juby Hartweg here.
Thank you. Okay, so the first order of business on the agenda is to go into executive session to discuss, I guess, Brian Frizzetti, would you like to say what you wanted to discuss and why we put it on there?
We don't have to say that, do we? We don't have to tell us what. We don't have to say that. Yeah.
Okay.
No, Bill has that covered with the explanation under executive session.
Okay, thanks. So we're going to go into executive session. So Ryan, we're going to go into executive session now, so you can stop recording.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so we are out of executive session, and the first thing on our agenda is the reorganization of the RecCom. And if anybody would like to make any nominations, please let me know so that I can recognize you. And anybody? I would like to, yeah, John Zucco.
I have a question. We
Yes.
started on the commission. Our first meeting was January 26th of 2017. How long are we done at the end of this year? 'Cause I had a 1 year, then I had a 3-year appointment. Brian,
I can
suggested
answer
that we go to next July.
Hold on.
That'd be
It would be really helpful if I could see people so that I know who to recognize.
Brian Frizzetti, I have an answer for that.
Go ahead, Brian.
All right. John, I tried to explain it before through a text message, and it gets kind of wound up and confusing.
Yeah.
When we get voted in the term, we all ended up coming in on a calendar year, but our appointments are done on the fiscal year. So your appointment wouldn't end until the summer of 2021. So even though we were done in the winter, because that's when the old calm jumped off, jumped ship, that you still end up like eating like 6 months is basically what it is. So the reappointment between me, Brian, and Melissa last year wasn't done during January or when whatever month Melissa came in. They do it just like they do payroll. When they do the raises and whatnot, it's always once a year, and it's in the summer.
What I'm trying to figure out.
Okay, guys. John, does that clear that up for you?
No, because was my first year a full year or 6 months or a year and a half?
Your first year was 6 months. And then,
Okay. So
and then
I'm basically done this month.
And then your appointment was.
I had a 1 year appointment, so that would have been until the July of 2017, then a 3-year appointment, which should be done July of 2020.
Have they noted? I think we have 2 empty seats coming up for consideration. I think mine and Joan's.
I think mine would be as well.
Joan, do you know if your seat is up
Yes,
for reappointment?
Excuse me, Diane, just you and I are up for this year, and it's gonna be done in August. John, I believe is next year.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, John,
How-
I would think,
Whoa, how would that be? I had a 1-year appointment. So I started in January of 2017. That would have gone to July of 2017. Then my second appointment was a 3-year appointment. So that would be up this year.
so what they must have done, John, is sort
Yeah.
of, you're going to serve an extra, I think, an extra 6 months. So that you still
Till the end of
have
the,
2021.
so I'll go to the end of this year.
Correct, this fiscal year.
What do you mean the end of this fiscal year?
The fiscal year
Fis-
runs from July 1 through June 30th.
Yeah, but if I go through June 30th, that means that I'm doing an extra 6 months.
Correct, I think that's what they did.
You gotta didn't sign up for an extra 6 months, is what I'm saying.
You can resign at any time.
Right. I thought mine would go through to December, the end of December this year, which I'm willing to do.
Okay, I think that
Mhm.
I think they were trying to do the extra 6 months, maybe to get back on a regular schedule, given what happened prior to us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yep.
All right, so continuing on with the reorganization of the offices for the RecCom, does anybody have any nominations that they would like to put forth? Because I would like to nominate Brian Pizzetti to be chairperson.
That's declined.
I second.
Thank you, Juvi. Would anybody, so that if you second it, we can bring it to a vote.
Brian, I think
you know,
you're so knowledgeable. Is there some way we could, like, convince you or help you? I think this would be a good thing because you're very knowledgeable.
No, there are a few members of the quorum that know about my background in certain areas. I don't think that I would make a very efficient, should we say, chair. For reasons that I don't want to disclose to the entire nation. But again, I'm good at what I do, and it's a lot of background work. If someone needs something looked up, I have no problem with that. As far as speaking in public, not my forte. Used to be, but it's not anymore. And I could probably just cut it short at that part of it. So I would have to unfortunately decline at this point to even consider it.
Okay, so there's no point in taking a vote, I guess.
But
Are there
that
any-
being said, I would like to once again, and this is going to be almost repetitive. I think we have great people in great places right now. It's just that I think you're all kind of taking on a little bit too much. And again, I'll offer it out. I'm available pretty much 24 hours a day. If someone needs support, or if they feel like they're getting sunk and they're underwater, takes a quick call to me, and I'll do the background work. Again, I may not agree with what's going on, but I have no problem with doing homework. Either way, to support
All right,
something or not support something.
Are there
So,
any more nominations
right.
to organize?
Well, you have to do it one by one, so I would like to motion for Diane to continue being the chair, because you are doing a fantastic job. I do think you're overwhelmed at times, but again, feel free to make the phone call, and I'll be more than happy to help. So we have
Okay.
a motion to chair, so you need a second.
I second, Diane.
Okay, a motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor of me keeping the chair position, say aye or nay when I call on you. John Zuko?
Just a quick discussion that,
That'd be great.
would be that whenever you do need help, please contact, I'm vice chair. I help you with forward stuff. Don't be shy about asking people for help if you need any help with anything.
Okay.
But do you feel that you want to stay on for another year as the chair?
I'll do it until I make any other decisions. I've made no other decisions yet. My term is up in August and I have not made a decision yet.
Okay. Well, okay, let's vote. I vote aye.
So we have a motion put forth that has been seconded. Please say aye when I call on you or nay. John Zuko?
Aye.
Brian Frizzetti?
Aye.
Joan Frizzetti?
Aye.
Brian Smith?
Aye.
Melissa Scartesi?
Aye.
Juvi Hartwig?
Aye.
Okay, so I will stay on as chairperson. We need a vice chair. Would anyone like to make a motion for vice chair?
Let's be
Anyone?
repetitive. I'd like to motion John Zuko stay as a vice chair. And again, with him, if he needs help, please give me a call.
Okay. So does
I
anybody want to
second the
second
motion.
the motion?
I'd like to second.
Thank you, Joan. Joan seconds the motion. Please say aye or nay when I call on you. Melissa?
Aye.
Brian Frizzetti?
Aye.
Joan Frizzetti?
Aye.
Brian Smith?
Aye.
Juvi Hartwig?
Aye.
John Zuko?
Aye.
Okay, there's some enthusiasm. Okay.
We didn't have to twist your arm, John, did we?
Okay. And would anyone like to make a motion for our secretary?
I would like to sound like a broken record and nominate Melissa Scartesi if she'll take it.
Okay. Sorry, that just threw me off because my phone is hooked to my computer. Would anyone like to second the motion for Melissa Scartesi to remain as the secretary for the RecCom?
I second.
Joan Frizzetti is seconded. Okay, aye or nay when I call on you. Brian Frizzetti?
Aye. Joan
Frizzetti?
Aye.
John Zuko?
Aye.
Brian Smith?
Aye.
Juvelin Hartwig?
Aye. Was I
Okay,
in
and
trouble,
Diane?
Diane? You used my full name. My God.
Oh, you know what? I'm just
Oh.
trying to shake it up a little.
I
And
mean-
Diane is aye. Okay, so all those motions carry. Let's move on. Things will stay the same. Okay. What's next on the agenda there, John? Because I didn't bring mine up. I can't seem to.
On the agenda is warrants.
Okay. I looked at warrants last week. Does anybody have any questions about any of the warrants?
Diane, this is Brian. I have one question, and I think my mother's going to have one after.
Okay.
On the Republic, I was looking at the Republic bills, and I see there's been some deductions and all that. I'm sure having to do with this phantom dumpster is one thing, but did we ever find out about the tipping fees from when the camp shut down? If we would still being charged tipping fees or not? And I haven't got a direct answer on that one yet.
I think we discussed that at the last meeting, but I'm going to let Bill handle that. Go ahead, Bill.
It appears that they have deducted some of the tipping fees. I think we're still getting charged in terms of like the rental fees for the dumpsters, but we aren't. our invoices haven't been as high as previous with the pickups. So I believe that they have discounted the tipping fees in one way or another. But yeah, we still had an issue with the phantom
But Bill, I have a
dumpster.
specific question.
Yeah.
Since the dumpsters have not been being emptied at all, correct? Have they been emptied at all since COVID?
I haven't seen them come by. I mean,
Okay,
there's
it's
not
a
much in there, so I mean, it's.
yes or no? Have they
Then I
come
would
up?
say no. I have not seen records on property
So why are we being billed anything?
because we still get charged for the dumpsters. They're on property.
Okay, yes,
That's
they're
the way
being,
Republic's contract works.
okay, so now our contract with Republic is now up, isn't it?
It is. They are. Do we want to take this out of order since waste management's down at the bottom? Do we want to just talk about this now?
Sure.
Okay. So yeah, our contract with Republic is done. I've sent over the waste management bids that we have received. I talked to somebody at Republic today, and they said that they should be coming either this week or next to remove the dumpsters. In all likelihood, I will probably be making another call next week because we all know how Republic is. So as it stands, they are supposed to be coming to pick them up, but it will probably take some more finessing.
It should take 3 calls a week till they get there. Squeaky wheel gets the grease. Let's just,
Sure.
I mean, we have time. Okay, and what about the phantom dumpster? Has that been removed from our bill?
The bill that it was still on, we just deducted it from what we were going to pay them. So we just didn't pay them what they were charging us for it. And I sent in. You just broke up and I didn't hear anything of
No,
that.
go ahead.
What was the
You
question?
sent in what? So
So
my question is, the phantom dumpster, are we still being charged for it? Is there something in writing that acknowledges Republic's mistake in charging us so that we are not billed in the future for it, and that once their dumpster leaves the property of the camp, we will no longer have a reason to be in contact with them?
that is correct. The last bill that it was on was February. Everything after that, it appears that it was removed. So in light of not being able to get in touch with them, when I spoke to the town accountant, he said, because we don't have that dumpster, he told me to pay the invoice minus what they were charging us for that. So that's what I did.
That's fine, but has Republic acknowledged that the error and why we are not paying for it? Have they acknowledged that situation so that later on, when they're going through their books, they know that that's why we did not pay that full amount that they were charging us for? Has there been some sort of recognition or acknowledgement on their part?
There was back in January, and then we got billed for it again in February, and then in March and on, it hasn't been on the invoices.
Fabulous.
So I would surmise that, yes, they have acknowledged we don't have that dumpster and it is no more.
Okay, and we have all that continuous paperwork so that we can track it.
Yeah, we've got paperwork, we've got emails.
Great. Okay, so who is our new dumpster company?
You guys get to vote on it. I sent you guys the bids. Noonan didn't put in a bid. United Management, or whoever formerly known as Dooley, they submitted something, and ABC. I would vote. I know I don't have a vote. Honestly, ABC looks to be the best in terms of they don't charge a continuous rental fee on the dumpsters. It's a one-time drop for the dumpster, and then they don't charge additionally. They're $1 less per month on the 10-yard, and it appears to be almost $50 less per month on the recycling. So we would be saving an average of roughly $250 a month with ABC comparatively to what we were spending on Republic.
Can I add something to that, Bill?
Go ahead, Brian.
Yes, sir.
In light of us having no events, I know we need a dumpster, but right now, I don't believe we should have a recycled dumpster because we have no events. We throw everything in the trash, and then maybe we change the frequency to once every other week, because if we don't have events, there's nothing going in there. So, I know we're gonna get hit once a week, but then we can always change it. If we come out of this, we add the recycle, and then we change the frequency. So it's a one way to just save some money, have something on site. You're not gonna have any people up there to have this huge recycling thing because you're not having any events in the lodge to break down boxes, throw bottles. I mean, it's one way to cut the expenses. That's what we're doing where I am, is we're changing frequencies, changing, maybe we go to an 8-yard, because if there's nothing in them, we're paying for nothing. But we always can upgrade.
Diane? Oh, sorry.
Yes, Melissa.
Diane, I have a question.
Yes.
Since we're putting a plan together for opening the camp, I mean, is it, say the camp does open, is it too much of is the timing too close to not have a dumpster rather than have it? You know what I mean? Do you not understand what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying. So I'm going to ask Bill. Bill, how long do you think it would take to get a dumpster up to the camp?
I mean, once we sign a contract with ABC and all that, I mean, we'd probably have them within the week of signing the contract. I haven't
Okay.
talked to any of them because we haven't made the decision, but if we're going to give them the business, they're going to bring us the dumpster.
They'll have it within a week, trust me.
Okay, I do trust you on that because I don't know. So, John Zuko, did you want to say something regarding this?
Yeah, does anyone know ABC? Anyone have experience with them? I mean, most of us use Julie around here, so we know them. Does anyone
I've seen
know ABC?
ABC around the town.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I know them. We subcontract out from NOS side. We use ABC in New Bedford and Plymouth. So they're responsive.
Oh, good. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, they got back to me within 2 hours when I sent out the request for bid. I mean, the guy was, right there sending me all the information. So, I mean, right away I was impressed because they were the only ones that got back to me same day, but also, it took me a few times to get, an actual quote from UMM. So, yeah, I mean, I personally think, for the money and all that and the responsiveness, that they would be the way to go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I think we work on the frequency of the pickups after we sign them up. Let's get the dumpster here and we can always change the frequency of the pickups. So right now we could go with once a month or whatever you guys think, until we know if we are opening the camp and what the governor says about gatherings like weddings and such. So would someone like to make a motion that we enter into a new contract for dumpster services with ABC?
So moved.
Thank you. Would anyone like to second it?
Second.
Okay, thank you. All those in favor, please say aye or nay when I call on you. Melissa Sartesi?
Yay.
Okay, Brian Frizzetti?
Aye.
Joan Frizzetti?
Aye.
John Zuko?
Yay.
Brian Smith?
Aye.
And Judy Hartwig?
Aye.
Diane Cohen, aye. Okay, so the motion carries and we will now have a new dumpster contract. Moving on to the next item in the agenda. John?
Next item on the agenda is going to be new business. There were new business possible events. Movie
Okay.
night, farmers market, Boy Scout, the movie nights and farmers market. Those are the next three.
Okay, so can I just, Juvie and Melissa, if you wouldn't mind, if I just kind of start here with the Boy Scouts. I know that Juvie has,
Before you move on, Diane, can we please strike farmers market out of this just because we just don't have enough time? So
Okay.
no more farmers market, okay?
will we be revisiting it at a later date, possibly in the fall?
Yes, yeah, just right now, just not enough time given the information that I have from people who've run it successfully. So can we strike that for now, please?
Absolutely. Okay, and regarding the Boy Scouts camping, just to catch everybody up, a group of Boy Scouts from, I think they're from Bridgewater. Am I correct, Juvie?
They are from Whitman, actually.
Whitman. Okay. So this group of Boy Scouts would like to come rent out the pavilion cabin to use during the day, during the week. They would pay $1,250 for the week's use of the pavilion, just day camping. They're not staying overnight. They would be leaving by 5 o'clock each day. They would like use of the Cove to work on water saving badges. They would be hiking and doing some other things there. All of it is contingent upon our plan for opening the camp and water testing at the Cove. The Boy Scouts have their own protocol for social distancing and maintaining guidelines in accordance with COVID regulations. And we will be submitting it. I think they have already submitted it to the Board of Health, and I will have an update on how the Board of Health has received that on Friday. So that is the Boy Scouts. Did I cover everything, Juvie? Is there anything you'd like to add on that?
Yeah, I think it's important to note that you know, the water stuff is really pertinent to what they're trying to do because the schedule that we're going to send out, I don't know if they've changed it, but a lot of the water safety is a very important badge for these guys. So that's a really kind of the hook for them. And we're not talking about using the Cove for uh, you know, leisure. This is about, you know, a short time at the Cove. It's only in the morning. It's literally, I think they said something like a 45-minute window so that the boys can show some kind of a skill. So we need to make sure that we are able to give them that option because then they're unable to get all of the requirements that they need. So as a as I can tell you, this is going to be a model moving forward. If this runs successfully, we have 3 other scout troops that will follow suit, and not just Boy Scouts. The girls also have something similar. And I know that in part of our business plan, one of our biggest you know, goals was to increase use of the camp, and this is a good way to do it until we can encourage camping, you know, by private citizens. I think this is a way that we can make sure that all the hard work that Brian and Brian put in to make these cabins, you know, and that facility look nice will be put to use. Although this year, obviously, no camping, but I'd really love for us to be able to push the Cove use just so that these scouts can get their merit badges.
And it should be noted.
Something. Oh, sorry, Diane.
It should be noted too that they have their own lifeguard.
That's what I was going to say, Diane. Sorry.
No, great minds think alike. So, and you know, Melissa, you know a lot of Girl Scout troops and Juvie. You've reached out, so thank you for making those connections because that's what's going to increase usage of the camp is people making a personal connection. So thanks for reaching out to them. I enjoyed talking with them as well. I'm gonna pass movie night on to Melissa. Go ahead.
Can I cut in real quick just on the Boy Scouts?
Go, Bill.
Just
Sorry,
to update
Melissa,
everybody that we're looking to meet next week.
Who is?
Okay, never mind. I'm trying to set up a meeting with the Boy Scouts, myself, and the health agent for next week. I'm waiting to hear about their availability.
Okay. Go ahead, Melissa.
Okay. So I've been looking, I did some research on movie nights, actually more specific drive-in, doing a drive-in movie for Hanson residents, actually anybody. We have coordinated a sponsor. If we're going to move forward with this, we're going to Juvie and I have worked, the Rotary has agreed to help us with this. Right now, we're looking at possibly having it at the, well, I think we're going back and forth, but I think we were talking about having it at Old McQuon School in the parking lot. We have gotten a really good deal from Busy Bee. Busy Bee Rentals actually supplies a whole kit. They supply the screen, they supply the DVD or the projector, whatever. I do need to confirm if they're able to use an FM transmitter. FM transmitter would take the.
I have to ask on that too. Thank you for reminding me. And I need a confirmation date. So remind me about that too, because I spoke with them.
Cool. Yeah, the FM transmitter will take it plugs into the projector and takes the sound and puts it into people's cars. So they tune into an FM station and then it plays in the car. We're going to walk with, Diane and I are going to meet at McQuon and kind of map out how many cars we can actually have. We were looking, I think we had talked about Diane and Juvie probably like 50 to 75 maybe, max, and we would obviously cap it to meet guidelines and all that. We still have to talk about a registration system because we're using the Rotary. We could go through them. They can do all the registration, similar to what they do for the Bunny Breakfast. They would do all the registrations, and then we would help market it. I did put together some marketing material. I did do a flyer. I haven't finished it yet. Once we get details, we're looking right now. We did throw out a date of July 31st, which is a Friday night. Right, Diane, sorry, or did we talk about the 1st? It was it might have been a Saturday. We changed it to August 1st.
Board of Selectmen, I guess, to have a rain date as well.
Yeah. So I did, these are happening all around our area. Juvie just had one, so it's awesome to have her input on how it went. Julie actually charged $40 a car, which, I think is a little, for us, we could probably get away with like $25 a car. But people paid $40 and it was sold out. So people are just yearning and they're just looking for stuff to do. So I really think this will be a successful event. We also talked about getting Mike's Pizza. So once Mike's Pizza to provide pizzas for people. So basically when you register, you can actually buy a pie if you would like. And then we could set up a table and, you have your name, and if you've ordered a pie online, then you can just take it from the registration table. Pretty easy.
You're getting a little sketchy, Melissa.
Sorry, what?
You were getting a little sketchy in and out.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I think I covered the more main parts, I think. Was I missing anything?
Oh, okay. Juvie, is there anything you'd like to add?
So with the remember when we spoke to our I think it's our town clerk, some of the things that prevent us from being able to do this successfully as a municipality is that it's very difficult to go through the town with some of these things like selling the tickets. Also, selling concessions, for example. I know that if we had mics to do the pizza, we could certainly sell packaged foods like candy. And I can tell you from my experience that candy, popcorn, drinks, those are the things that families are looking for. Little glow sticks, little $1 items that add up when you have 50 people, right? So one of the things that I thought was important was for us to utilize our nonprofits in the area, because that's one of our goals on our business plan, is to create relationships with people. And I offered the Rotary Club because, number one, they're wonderful, and they've worked with the food pantry, they've worked with other town organizations, and they have the 501c3, which is really key. Also, I am very familiar with Square. Square is wonderful in the fact that it does accounting for us, so it very clearly does a report that shows all of the sales. So all the Rotary Club has to do really is print this report and forward it to our accountant. And it's very clear, very fair. The only thing that we do have to consider is there are fees associated with anything. But instead of a $3 fee with Unipay and very user less friendly, I don't even know what the term is. It's just not user friendly. It's not easily accessible. Square is the best way to go because families are able to get to it quickly. If something happens and they need a refund, it's a push of a button. And we have a wonderful treasurer over at the Rotary Club that can, create these reports for us. So I just thought about working with an organization that has like an established track record, and we can call the food pantry. The Rotary Club just, raised like $4,000 for the food pantry. So I just thought this was just better in terms of charging people, even just additional avenues for more volunteers. So that's why this is the route to go. And so, Melissa, I know you talked about, the costs and selling, but we also, through the Rotary Club, we can get sponsorships, not via the town. The town is not able to do that as a municipality. They can't pick one, business over the other. And the Rotary Club has worked with a lot of local businesses. So we can get sponsorships to pay for the screen. So, obviously the less overhead that we have, the more monies that we can put in our bank accounts. So I really hope that you guys will consider that partnership with the Rotary Club. And of course, they have to approve it on their end too. But first we need to, make that commitment that we want to partner up with them, because I can tell you we're on our third movie night. The past 2 movie nights that we've had were sold out. And this third one, I think I have 30 tickets left. And so so it's very, it's something that families definitely look forward to. The only thing that we have to consider about this is that we are a board of 7 people. We need volunteers to park, to, remember the social distancing. Our biggest challenge for the Children's Museum has been making sure everybody is following protocol. And we do have to anticipate that there are families that are not comfortable with the protocol. They're going to make a choice, right? So we have to make sure that we have enough volunteers to be able to address all the issues that are there. So I think the Rotary Club would be a good avenue.
Okay, so we've got all our bases covered. We know we need volunteers. We can also use caretakers to socially distance, but that'll cut into the fees, or we could not have those particular people that would normally work that day, work that evening shift instead. So that would be a way to even things out a little bit. So I guess what we're looking for here is further discussion on this. Any questions regarding this event before we put together a final plan and take it to the Board of Selectmen for approval?
Do we have a date?
I think Melissa, didn't you say July 31st?
Yeah, but Diane, we had talked about, I think maybe doing it on a Saturday might be a little bit better for people. I think maybe we talked about August 1st.
Okay, so what we need is a rain date. Board of Selectmen would like a rain date. So we could do August 1st, that Saturday, and we could have a rain date of the following Saturday or
The 8th. The 8th.
the 8th.
Yep.
I won't be here then, but that's fine.
I think I'm around for both dates. Let me check.
Okay, so we can go the 8th, or we could make it Saturday or Sunday night,
Yeah, either one.
because the kids aren't in school. So,
Just an FYI, ours is on a Tuesday night. You don't have to do it on a Friday, because Marshfield Drive-In is Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Melissa, is it Thursday, Friday, Saturday?
I think so, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so I'm just thinking that at this point, I can tell you that families are just, all of their vacation plans are canceled. So I think you'd get the
Right.
same response on a Monday night, believe it or not, or a Wednesday night. I'm just thinking, because we're so close to Marshfield, that, picking even like a weekday could possibly work. So if you did a rain date on a weekday and we pre-sold the tickets, Rain date is on a weekday. You can make it or you can't make it. And that's another thing that we have to consider, that a pre-sold event is probably the best event that we can
Okay, so we need to consider a weekday. Are there any other comments? So do we
Yeah,
want,
Diane, Brian.
One quick one. Oh,
go ahead. Brian, go
Which
ahead.
one?
Brian, for,
Yeah, whereas we're talking about financing and using the square and working alongside of the Rotary Club,
Yep.
are we gonna, and obviously it has to go through the Board of Selectmen because we're using town property and all that other good stuff. Is
Right.
this gonna be marketed as the Recreation Department or Commission or whatever, Camp Kawani, is working in conjunction with the Rotary Club for this event? Because I know our town accountant has always really pushed back hard on using that square. So I don't know if the bases were covered with the town accountant on, on that end of it, taking the payments, because they love using Unipay, which I think is absolutely ridiculous.
ugh.
okay, so let me address that very quickly. I'm sorry it upsets people. They're gonna have to get over it until they get something easier for the public to use and easier for us to use in order to generate money. We are billing this as a Recreation Commission sponsored event in conjunction with the Rockland, I think it's what, Rockland,
Hanson Rotary. So Brian, just to answer your question, we don't keep any of the funds. So it's basically, it has to just be sponsored by Rotary, because we also have insurance, event insurance that can help cover as well. So it has to be something sponsored by Rotary. So it just has to, anywhere in the verbiage, it could be like the Rec Commission hosting a movie night, but it has to have sponsored by the Rotary or something associated with the Rotary in order
Right.
for us to claim it as our event.
right, and then they would handle all the money, and at the end, they would issue the camp a check, just like they did at the Bunny Breakfast. So
I'm sorry,
that's
that was
how
a
that
chamber.
Okay,
That was a chamber. I'm sorry, that was a different
that was
organization.
right.
Yep.
okay, so
Sorry.
we'd be accepting this as a donation, basically.
Yes.
Okay, fantastic.
But the more important thing is that we would be providing something for the people of Hanson. And that is our goal here. So are there any other questions, comments, or concerns regarding this event? So I think we need to pick official dates, or we can make a motion to talk about pending dates, whatever you would like to do. Because I would like to put this before the Board of Selectmen. They're probably going to want an actual date. So let's put this before the Board of Selectmen with a date. Can we please come to some kind of consensus on a date?
How about, you know what, so the Marshfield Drive-In is Thursday, Friday, Saturday. How about a Wednesday? Could we do,
Okay.
like, what, could we do Wednesday night, what is it, August 5th?
We can do August 5th with a rain date of August 12th. Or do it
that
on a
would work.
Tuesday,
I think
or we could do
What-
Tuesday night, August 4th with a rain date of August 5th. John Zuko?
What time does this run until? Is it gonna get in the way of parents working the next day?
No. We're gonna
Okay.
start it, I mean, everybody, it's usually and I think you're showing a kid's movie, The Trolls. And,
yeah,
or
I had suggested, yeah, the new Trolls movie. But we can have people start entering at about 7:30, 7:15, and then start the movie around 8, because that's when it gets really dark. And
Right.
the movie's only like an hour and 20 minutes or something.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Any other questions? I also want you to consider, we can do these through the fall. We can make them hopefully weekly things. We could show, movies that might appeal to an older crowd, some of the retro type things, whatever you guys want to do. But I think this is a good thing for us to at least start. So, any other?
Diane,
Yes, Joan.
okay, you mentioned August 4th. August 4th is a big meeting at the BOS And I wouldn't suggest August 4th. If you want to do Monday night or
August 5th.
Wednesday night, yeah, 5th is fine, but the 4th was mentioned with a rain date of the 5th. But you could do Monday night, the 3rd, or else the Wednesday night, the 5th.
Okay, so what do people think?
I like the 5th, the
I think
Wednesday.
August. Yeah, I like August 5th.
John, you went out.
That gives us a good 3 weeks.
Mhm.
Okay, so August 5th, what is the rain date?
12th. August 12th.
The 12th. Okay, so when in talking to Busy Bee, they have 5 of these setups, and she said that they never rent all 5 on one day and probably not on a weekday. So that would do us fine. So
Can we get a discount?
And can I just, Diane, I'm sorry, can I just add something about that?
go ahead, Melissa.
I forgot. So they have the whole setup, but they also have they include the operator. So the operator would, I think the operator stays around and helps with the projector and all that. So
Okay,
that'll be helpful.
it's a good deal.
Melissa, is it included in the price that was quoted?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, are we all set? Would someone like to make a motion then for us, the Recreation Commission at Camp Kawani, to co-sponsor an event with the Rockland Hanson Rotary Club to have a movie night at the McQuan School on August 5th with a rain date of, I think you said August 12th?
So
Yes.
moved.
Thank you, John Zuko. All those in favor? Anyone want to second it? Sorry.
Second.
Okay, Brian Frazzetti, thank you. All those in favor, when I call on you, say aye or no. Melissa?
Aye.
Okay. Brian?
Aye.
Joan?
Right? Yeah, aye.
Thank you. Brian Smith?
He already said it, but aye.
Judy?
Aye.
And Diane Cohen is an aye. So we will be
I'm an aye.
sponsored.
Yeah,
Thank
that's-
you. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, John. I thought I did. I apologize. What's next on the agenda?
Next on the agenda is
Newsletter.
We have Boy Scouts and newsletter. I think we already did the Boy Scouts, right?
Boy Scouts. Go ahead, Juvie, with the newsletter. Let's make it quick.
Oh, all right. Give me a time. 30 seconds. All right, here we go. So the
go ahead.
newsletter, I reached out to Dory, and I think what would be very helpful is most places have a newsletter. Monthly would be good, and it would always focus on the month before. If monthly is too much, we can always do quarterly. And basically, it's like just a trifold. It's generally like 11-14 paper. You'd probably see those programs at like church or whatever, and you'd have different columns. And I think what would be important is to have categories, if you will. Like if you're looking at a magazine, we have current events, or we have things that are happening at Camp Kawani next month. We could have those things. We definitely need a calendar because we always want to be talking about something. But also, just recently, there were people on social media and also like the town just wanting to find out about some wonderful things that we've done. And I think a lot of what we're missing as a rec commission is that communication part. We have zero PR, and I can tell you the marketing is just what we really need. We need people to understand what we're doing, to understand that there are improvements at the camp. We put in a new roof, and there wasn't much mention of that. That was a lot of work by a lot of people. So I think those kinds of things need to be showcased. And then also sharing a spot there to encourage volunteers. We recognize like every time we have an event, we're always, 7 of us can't do it. We just can't do it. And I can tell you every other organization that's done well has a good network of volunteers. So I think a newsletter reaches out to people in the town that will go, oh, you know what? I want to participate in that. So right now we should be taking a look at creating a newsletter that showcases our Halloween event, because that's a big deal. So if we had that, some families, maybe we put on an ad that says, please consider joining us. So Dory has agreed to help. I think every single one of us, from a facilities standpoint, Brian and Brian, you guys can input something in there. Quick note about something. We could even ask our caretakers if they have an idea, put it in the newsletter, share it out to the town. And I think that'll be a good step towards communicating.
We can
Okay,
actually also, Juvie. Oh, sorry. Can I just add to that?
Go ahead, Melissa.
No, Juvie, I think that's great. And then also, we can use a little of our own advertising too, advertise rates, or, we can even talk about weddings that are going to be, coming up someday, camping, all that kind of stuff. But we can put the rate, because a lot of people don't even know that you can camp. So I think it would be, and even advertise, if you want to hold a meeting or a troop meeting, or, you can do that as well, and rent out all the, rent the lodge and do all that stuff. So I think that's a great opportunity.
Well, I
Right.
think if we were able to put the Boy Scouts in there this month, the Whitman Scouts are very open to being photographed and, showing what the hard work that they put together. You take that opportunity to take cameos of what's going on. We put that on our newsletter. We send it out, and other Scout troops see it, something that they're going to think about for next year.
Yeah.
It's just really building on a foundation kind of thing.
Are there any comments, questions, or concerns about having a newsletter for Camp Kawani?
Diane, if I could.
Go right ahead, Brian Frizzetti.
It may be kind of a stretch at this point, because I don't know. Actually, we could probably put the IT guy into this, give him an extra job. But not only doing your per se paper newsletter, but if somehow we can maybe get an email blast, because basically the newsletter is going to be created on a doc file anyways. Maybe.
I'm sorry, Brian. I don't think there's any intention of doing a paper newsletter. I think all of it is digital, and will sort of be.
No,
site.
I think Brian, I think you make a good point. No, I think for our senior center, we want to give our seniors, we want to give them paper. But if we can decrease the paper and push it more digitally, but obviously, we want to drop off copies at our senior center and at our library.
The library
Yeah,
mail.
let's not forget,
Sorry.
The library mail says
All right, I was just unsure whether you were just talking paper or if we were talking a blast through an email, because I know at the place that I'm at, which you all know where I'm at, we blast out about 1,200 a month, and it covers a lot of people, and a lot of people get a lot of information out of it. But we also do paper too, for people that don't have the email addresses or aren't computer savvy.
Okay,
You can
so I have
also
a
post
question.
a link to it too. You can post a link to it on the website or the Facebook pages.
Hold on, John Zuko, go ahead.
I said you can also post a link to it on the website and the Facebook pages to the
Absolutely.
newsletter.
It's a great idea. And we just need more things to fill it up with. Okay, does anybody else have any questions about this? So what's our goal here, Juvie, with having the first thing put out, first newsletter put out?
So at the rate we're going right now, guys, I would really want everybody to, so I want the facilities guys, I really want you guys to create something, think about something that should go in there about our facilities that is like priority to communicate to people. And then I know we have like events, folks, so Melissa, your movie night needs to go in this just to showcase like, this is what happened. I think we should aim for September and see if Bill and Dory can be part of the conversation, because we do have to do some editing. But we need to, as maybe reach out to Bill and Dory to figure out what kind of categories we're going to have. So if we decide to do it by, like revenue for the camp, we're not going to have anything with the Cove, I don't think. But maybe do something like the Needles Lodge, do something with camping, do something with facilities, something like that. I'm just kind of thinking about the categories, but we do need to we definitely need a corner that has maybe like rec director's corner, and Bill can put out specific information that he thinks is pertinent for that time, but aim for the fall. So I'd say our number one goal is to make sure our Halloween event is just like phenomenal, because that's the big thing that we've got in the fall. And then maybe some updates about the rental of Needles Lodge. I don't know where we're going to be, but definitely something to put in there. And if we can't open the camp, then maybe something about weddings, maybe feature a wedding that happened at Camp Kawani that was interesting or something like that. But if we can aim for getting that out in September, it gets people thinking about, the camp at the fall, right?
Yep.
Oh, and also the name. We have to
You-
figure out what the name of the newsletter will be.
Okay, so we'll get an update on that at our next meeting. Any other-
Diane,
Yes, Joan, if you're ready.
I'm not talking about newsletter. We need to get out to the public what was done with the $25,000 grant that we got from the state. There are people that ask questions about it. They think that it was for something that's going to be done, not that it has already been done. So I think we should let the people know and thank the state for having given us that grant.
Joan,
That
can you
sounds-
put that entry
Do you want
together?
to,
You want to
Hold
do
on.
that?
Hold on. Let's not have conversation since this is being recorded. Julie, would you like to respond to Joan?
Yes, Joan, I was wondering, I think we've seen a lot on social media about people asking, well, we saw this in the paper. What does it mean? So, Joan, if you can do some research and just maybe see if you can put together an entry with maybe some photographs, that would be very helpful, kind of giving people, not all of the details, but just really cliff notes so that they know this money was for this and this is what happened, and then show a picture. We're talking like one column, right? So if you could do that, that'd be great.
I'm sorry, Joan, I interrupted. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's something that needs to be done by Bill because he knows everything that was done and he's there at the camp. So the pictures he can do. And I mean, I don't know what else was done. I mean, I know we had the electricity, some of the electricity for the stove done. We had the gas, the pilot light, and the
Right,
new
okay.
connection.
You're saying you're more comfortable if Bill does that. That is fine. I'm sure I'll have no problem doing that. Anybody who writes it on the grant, like it stated because, that these were needs, what was happening before, and now it is fixed, so that people don't think we're just haphazardly spending this money. Okay.
Diane,
Yes.
Diane,
Melissa,
I have a question.
Melissa.
I know we were talking about the newsletter. I think waiting till the fall might be a little bit too long for that. If we want to put that, I think maybe we make it a post or something on social media. I think it needs to go out sooner than the fall.
Okay, are there any other comments about that? Juvie?
Yeah, so Joan, I just want to go back to Joan. Joan, we just want every person in our rec commission to be represented. So I'm asking all of you to make a commitment to write at least one entry. Like, it can't be all Bill. We all have to have a voice in this. So if that's not what you're comfortable in, please think about an entry that you want to put your name on, because people need to know that you're part of this, and it's average citizens. We're not like, I don't know. We are average people that live in this town, and this is our name and this is our voice. So I think if we can all participate, put something in there. Bill should only have one corner, because we're part of a team. If it's Bill all over the place, then we're not a commission. So just please think about that. And Melissa, the only thing I was thinking about was I want to capture the movie night, definitely. So we can get it out in August, but what would be great is before all the school stuff comes out, the superintendent has already agreed to put out some of our stuff. So it'd be great to have our local town, town organizations help us out. And I know the superintendent is like, yeah, we'll put it out there to families. So if we can, we're just thinking about this newsletter is basically for September. So if we produce it in July, just for September.
No, that's great, Juby, but maybe
Melissa,
we think.
did you want to respond to that?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I think that's great. Maybe we do like a summary of the event. Do like a little article on how
Right.
well it went.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and then we can, but obviously the movie night, we're working with the schools on getting that out. But like, we can just do how great it went, maybe have some real pictures,
Yeah.
That's what I
And
was thinking.
hopefully there'll be more events to summarize and more new exciting things going on. So any more comments about a newsletter?
Yeah, if I could, this will only take up a couple of seconds. I agree 100% with Melissa and Juvie. Obviously, the newsletter is great. September's fine. But also, Melissa has a fantastic idea with getting this stuff out kind of ahead of the newsletter. As far as the $25,000 that we had spent, this particular $25,000 was really only spent on 3 or 4 items. I mean, you can ask the COM to come together, but how hard is it to write? The roof leak was fixed, the stove was put in, and we had some electrical work done. I mean, I would probably, that should be well within Bill's wheelhouse. I mean, he's talented enough to write it. I've seen his posts. And again, there were very basic facilities things done that cost that kind of money. Going into the future, obviously, if we get another grant for $25,000, we can spend it in 15, 20 different areas. Then I would say that would be the time to pull the entire COM together, because some can be facilities, some can be events, some can be, beach, some can be everything. You know what I mean?
Okay. All right then. Are we all set? Talking about the newsletter. No more comments, questions, concerns about it. Okay, so Bill will be working on that, and we will have a draft of it, I guess, at the next meeting. Is that what you would like, Juvie? You unmute yourself.
Yeah, so I think, yeah, that would be great. And then maybe we could get Dory in, because she's a writer. She might be able to figure out some of those categories. I know, Melissa, you just mentioned events. Maybe we have a whole section of events. Maybe that's a main focus. And then we talk about things like, from the town. So when like Joan mentioned town stuff, we should, think about those categories. If anybody else has any other ideas, please, put it out there.
John Zuko?
Yeah, I could write a quick article on weddings and what's going on with weddings and everything. Are we still having the thing in August?
The wedding show?
Yeah.
She's still advertising.
Bill,
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, John,
Guys, let me please recognize Bill, please. Bill, would you like to respond to John on that?
Yeah, so I recently communicated with Kelly, and I had to speak with Gil and the Board of Health. So in light of some of the information that just came out, she's got some ideas on, potentially if we can't really have it inside, or if we have to utilize the inside and the outside, we might be able to dip into having the vendors in the cabins as well. Because the issue that's going to arise, we're only going to be allowed 25 people in the lodge right now. That's the max gathering size. And we won't be able to do, we won't be able to have the bar open. And I'm looking into whether or not we'll actually be able to have food as well. But the issue may arise, we may have to get creative and utilize both the inside and the outside, because we're not going to be able to have very many people at all inside.
Okay. So we'll figure something out. Is there anything else on the agenda, John?
There is Cove opening and camp opening.
Okay. So I will just give you an update of what's going on. The Board of Selectmen did not put us on the last, on the agenda last meeting in time. I met with one of the board members and the health agent down at the Cove. So they would like us to present a camp opening plan as well, along, so that when they make their decision, they are making a decision for opening both. So again, I will try to have that done as soon as I can. And I'm getting started on it Friday with Gil. And I've spoken to some lifeguards, and I've spoken with our caretakers. My plan is to use the adult caretakers as gatekeepers so that they will be more efficient and less anxious about enforcing social distancing rules, and they would like to know what that entails. So basically everything will be presented. I spoke with the chairperson of the Board of Selectmen, and he said if he has to call a special meeting, he will indeed do that. So if anybody has any comments, questions, or concerns related to the opening of the camp, speak now so that I know what to include or not include, or what you'd like to see in there.
I just want to ask everybody, I know the Cove is a different issue, but is everyone at least on board with opening the camp? Is this something that we all feel is something we could do? Can I,
speak?
yeah, let me know.
John?
I feel I'm fine with it.
Okay, Melissa?
Yeah, yep.
Okay. Ryan Frizzetti?
Sorry, I had to find my mute button. I would definitely include, and only because, sorry, Bri. I would definitely pull Brian into this conversation if you're going to meet with the health agent or whoever you're going to meet with, see if there might be a time where he can attend. Because again, he's dealing with this stuff live now. So there might be issues with bathrooms, might be issues with, different things that he can just pick out real quick. It might make, a huge difference.
Okay. Joan?
I'm fine with opening the camp. Just make sure, I know there's a phase 3 that's out there, and it has all the direct. Okay, so if everybody reads that, and at least after they've read it, maybe some suggestions to you to help you out to make the plan.
That would be wonderful. I would appreciate that. And Brian Smith, are you okay with it? And do you want to be a part of it? Because I'm meeting with Gil on Friday morning at 10. He said he had available.
I got a dentist appointment at 9. I'll try to be there. Shouldn't take that long. It's a cleaning, but I have some concerns about safety, a potential exposure, how we're going to mitigate that if it should happen. We have to have those plans in place. So, the supplies that we have in hand, if we do it all, and our cleaning protocol for those restrooms. I mean, we can social distance all day, but it's the restrooms that the people are using where the touch points are. I have some questions in regards to that.
Okay, so when I get the exact location of where we're meeting at 10 o'clock on Friday, I will reach out to you and you can meet us there after your appointment.
Yeah, I should be able to make it. It's in Bridgewater. It shouldn't be a big deal.
Okay, sounds good. Are there any other questions? Is there anything else on this agenda, John?
Yes, there is. Waste management bids we already did. Last one is facilities.
I have some questions on that.
Go right ahead.
Metal beds, all the metal, is that gone in the kit in that cabin?
I don't know. I'm going to leave that to Bill.
There's a couple of pieces left. They took out the majority. So yeah, most everything. There's a couple of random pieces that are still left over, but the bulk of everything that was in the chalet is no more.
Okay.
Can I ask a question in that? Hold on. So since the last time we talked about this, more has been removed?
I mean, there wasn't much left in the chalet, so it's just whatever pieces were in there. There's just a couple pieces left over, but they had taken the majority of the metal pieces.
Okay, because the last time I was up at the camp, there was metal pieces in one of those chalet cabins. There were like 2 cabins that had stuff in it. So I'd like it all consolidated and put in one pile so that it can be removed again. If that's okay, if we can add that to the caretaker list, please. Sorry, Brian, go right ahead now.
Okay, Wi-Fi report on the fiber. Any more on that? I know we had a couple of, you did report on it last time.
I mean, it's working. We're not going to have any sort of probably guest Wi-Fi for a while again, and we're able to update the service and bandwidth at the police station. But we're hooked up, we're live, and I mean, it's so far so good. It's a little glitchy at times, but it's still much better than it was.
Okay. Other things, I know you mentioned the cabin. Did you get a hold of Chris so we could meet with him to talk about moving cabins in the north end?
No, I CC'd you and Brian Frizzetti, so I sent out an email with you guys attached to it. Chris has not gotten back to me there. I've called him. I'm going to reach out to him again. He's, again, like you guys have said, a tough guy to get a hold of, but we'll get him over there and we'll all take a peek at the cabins.
Okay, Chris is in New Hampshire
Okay.
and he will be back. He should be back this week.
One last bullet I have is, I know you say Dory's a good writer and there's CPC money. Is that something while we're in COVID-19 pause here that we can start writing grants or stop the process? Because we certainly can use money, and now is the time if we have facilities issues. There's nobody there. I mean, now is the time to renovate, or I know it's a process, but let's start.
Okay. John Zuko, would you like to address that?
Yeah, that Colonel Gayatri that we had talked to before, she is available to write grants.
Yeah.
She did communicate that with me. She just got a grant
Okay.
for someone before it was, but she is available to write grants if need be. Yep.
So are you talking about the lady from the town or?
No, Gayatri,
That's right.
yeah.
I will tell you now, if you're looking for CPC money, CPC has not had a meeting. It was advised by the Board of Selectmen that all truly essential and relevant groups right now don't have to meet. We haven't had anything. We haven't met at all on anything. However, it is always prudent to be ready with a grant proposal. So the CPC one is easy enough to write. I think Bill could handle it. Also, however, I want to point out that we have not used all that money from our last CPC grant, which was in place prior to our becoming a board. And that money, I feel, should be used first.
Well,
We got the dog money because that was an emergency, but I would really like to see all of the other grant money with the screens and everything that needs to be taken care of in the north end and whatever else needs to be happening with those cabins in the north end. I would like to see all that money taken care of and squared away and used.
I can meet with Bill on that front, and we can not Bill, but Bill and Chris, and then I just want to at least start the dialogue after that, because once we get Chris in there and do what we need to do, that money will go fast. And I think, if everybody says, well, Dory's a good writer. Well, now it's kind of dead. I think it's time to at least talk about it. And then I'll work with Chris and we'll get that money spent just quickly.
Okay. Is there anything else?
Can I comment real quick?
Sure, go ahead, Bill.
Yeah, and just in regard to the grant, so we do have our town planner in our corner, so she is always looking for grants for the entire town. So there are times where she comes across things that may benefit Camp Kawani, and we've been trying to track some of those down. So she does also actively look for grants and grant money that can be utilized at the camp. So we do also have her in our corner helping us on that.
Okay, so go ahead and you can reach out to her, Bill. And just, I'm sure, see if she's got anything. I'm sure that everything is at like a dead standstill now, unfortunately, because money needs to go toward COVID relief, but we'll see what's out there. Is there anything else, Brian?
That's it on the agenda.
Okay, I just have
I-
something regarding facilities. I do
Diane?
think we need, yes?
Diane, I just have two quick ones.
Okay, go right ahead, Brian Fazzetti.
First is, how are we looking, if at all, with the oven and the pilot light?
Again, Chris has been away. I don't think anything's been changed with that. Bill, if you know otherwise, please speak up.
No update.
Okay, thank you. Anything
All right,
else?
and the last one would be, have you started reaching out to different people for pricing on the stumps outside the,
Okay,
outside the
I
pit?
did get word on that. I've spoken to people in the town on that. Actually, John Stanbrook is looking into that for us. So because that was done as a town project with town money not coming directly out of our budget, he is looking into that for us. But
Yeah,
again,
the high.
it's been, sort of on the back burner, the current situation and our budget, given our shortfall, et cetera. Bill, would you like to say something?
Yeah, as you said, John's looking into it. He's got our director who is, kind of spearheading that. So I know that he's got the feelers out for different contractors and looking at bids and whatnot. So I don't think there's been any selection yet on the contractor, but it is at least in motion.
Okay, can you please keep it there? Thank you, yay. I just have two things I wanted to discuss very quickly. Can we reach out to the inspectors to make sure the stove can be inspected, please? And because I think that was on the last meeting, and I just thought maybe
He was
we
in
would have.
today.
He was in today, and what was said and what was done, and what do we have?
So right now he's got to look at it. There's a piece of equipment that we don't have, and I believe it has something to do with more of the ventilation hood rather than the stove. So he didn't have a clear answer. I mean, everything with the stove is hooked up correctly and everything. But there just may be something that we need to do sooner than later with the hood system, because there has to be some sort of emergency shut off or whatever with the gas, which I don't think under the old system was in place.
Okay, I thought we kind of got a pass on our vent system, though.
Well, I spoke to him about, what was said with our building inspector. I think he's going to have a conversation with him, but I mean, he couldn't really elaborate on it. It's just, where he's the plumbing and gas inspector, he said based on, what he's looking at, he's got to do some more digging on it just because of our system being so antiquated.
Okay, so please keep us up to date on that. The next thing I'd like to
Will do.
ask, and to put probably on the agenda, is when we're looking at our budget, I'm very concerned about the amount of, about having 3 caretakers up here that basically are being paid. And in my time at the camp, I have not really seen up here as of late. I've seen one caretaker given a list of things to do, and I've seen that come to fruition. I haven't seen others. I'm wondering, with our budget, we may need to cut out some caretakers as well. So cuts in the budget, our budget, I think are going to have to be discussed at some point. And I'm hoping
Right,
to
and
put
I'm
that.
looking at.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Who am I speaking with? Bill?
No, that was me. I was gonna just chime in about talking with the town accountant, but I apologize.
No, go ahead. I think when Bill speaks to the town accountant, we need to put it on the agenda for our next meeting and consider ways to cut our budget, because we will not be receiving any supporting funds from the town budget this year.
Diane,
Brian Smith, go ahead.
I would, Bill, before you get that agreement, and can I see that from ABC?
Oh. Yes, I would assume we would have all seen it. So Bill, can you please send that out to us?
I emailed you guys. All they did was send me emails with their pricing and all that. We don't have a contract or anything yet, so I can certainly, now that we know we're going with ABC, have them put that in writing and send it to us before we sign anything. But
Right.
yeah, I mean, I don't have any actual physical paperwork for them.
Okay, I'll review it. Take a look at it. All right.
Okay. Anything else?
Diane, if I could.
Eddie, go ahead.
When it comes to you were talking about caretakers, the one that obviously we can't mention any by name. And even if we go to the executive session, we can't. That would probably be something we would have to drag the town administrator, because he runs human resources for the town.
Okay.
And I know, you know, layoffs and terminations and all that can be very touchy with municipalities. So it might be, we might want to see if we can get John in, maybe to maybe a half an hour tops executive session, just to talk in general terms about people.
All right. Well, I'll reach out to him first and then see if he would like to come to our next meeting. But I would like to put it on the agenda for the next meeting.
When are you planning on for the next?
I'm sorry, Joan, I can't hear you as well.
When are we scheduling the next meeting?
Well, that's what we have to do right now. So today is the 8th. Does anybody have any issues with Monday, the 20th, or next week? What do you guys think?
Diane, the Board of Selectmen meeting is on the 14th, right?
Correct.
Okay.
I think. Wait a
I'm
minute.
just thinking, I'm just, sorry.
Town meeting, I believe. Bill,
Okay.
do you
I'm
know?
just thinking that if they approve the camp opening, will we have to meet next week to get things settled, you know?
We should probably meet next week.
Okay.
And we have to look at do the 15th, 16th, or 17th if possible, because if you have a meeting next week, it'll be on the 14th, so we'll have to meet after that. We can look to see if we can get a Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday.
Can I
sorry.
ask? Can we
Bill,
ask? Can I ask?
Hold on. Bill, I couldn't hear what you said.
I said, if the Board of Selectmen do in fact have a meeting next week on the 14th, then we can look to see what's available for either Wednesday the 15th, Thursday the 16th, or Friday the 17th.
Would it be all right to ask for Thursday, just because I know that's the only night that I'm available next week?
Sure.
I can do
Okay.
that.
Okay.
16th.
So let's try to set a meeting up for the 16th.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, Diane, I'll let you know after I talk to our IT director, and I'll let you know what we're able to get.
Thank you. And thank you in advance, Ryan. Okay. Anything else? Would someone like to make a motion to adjourn?
I motion to adjourn the meeting.
Thank you, John Zuko. Brian Frizzetti. Okay. All those in favor, say aye. Melissa?
Aye.
Brian Frizzetti?
Aye.
John Frizzetti?
Aye.
John Zuko?
Aye.
Brian Smith?
Aye.
Judy Hartwig?
Bye.
And Diane Cohen says aye. This meeting is now adjourned. Have a good night, everybody.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Bye,
Bye.
guys.